Good morning, everybody. It's Mr. Eckridge coming to you from headquarters. Hope everybody's doing well. We're going to review some math today, especially with fractions. And what's going to happen is next week, when we start doing multiple lessons a day, we're going to start multiplying and dividing fractions. So I wanted to take this time to review a couple things. So we know that fractions, decimals, and percents are all parts of a whole, right? That should be stuck in our head still. I know it's been a few weeks since we've been at school. And we know if we have something like 2/6 plus, let's say 1/3, that the first thing we're going to notice is that the denominators are not the same. So whenever you're adding or subtracting fractions, the denominators have to be equivalent, otherwise known as equal. So in this case, we need to find a common denominator. Now, the proper way to do this, I know some of you are like instantly solving this problem, and that's great. But if we got to two numbers that we didn't know what the common denominator was, we'd want to sit here and we would want to multiply out both. And what we'd want to do is find that least common multiple. So in this case, we'd say, okay, 6, 12, I'm going to stop there. Maybe I could even go to 18. And then I would have 3, 6, 9, and I would see that they both share a 6. So 6 is going to be our common denominator. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into 2, 6 stays the same. And then what's 1/3 going to become? So what we're really doing is remembering that golden rule of fractions. Whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. So in this case, how do we turn that 3 into this 6? So what times 3 will give us 6? That's 2. So we multiply this by 2, and we would multiply the numerator by 2. And so what we end up getting is 2, 6. So when we add this together, we get 4, 6 as our answer. Now, we should be at the point where we notice that 4, 6 is not in lowest terms. So we want to reduce that. So remember, reducing and lowest terms, same thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor out 4, and we're going to factor out 6, and we're going to see that 1 times 4, of course, makes 4, 2 times 2, 1 times 6 makes 6, 2 times 3, and we see that they share that 2. So we're going to divide by 2 up here, the numerator and the denominator, remembering that golden rule, and we get 2/3 as our final answer. So a couple things that we did was we did 2, 6 plus 1/3. That was our original problem. We noticed that the denominators were not the same. So we knew we had to create equivalent denominators or equal denominators in order to be able to proceed with this problem. We came down here and we said, well, we need to find the least common multiple, right? Least meaning the smallest, the common, of course, meaning what do they share? And these are all multiples because multiples are skip counting. So we have 6, 12, 18, 3, 6, 9. We saw, hey, the smallest one that they share is a 6. So we went up here and we said we have to turn both of these denominators into 6. And guess what? This one was already a 6, so we didn't have to do anything. We brought it right over here. And then we said, well, we got to turn this 3 here into a 6. So what do I multiply 3 to get 6? I multiply it by 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So this is how we get that 2, 6. When we added it together, we got 4, 6. And we said, hey, I can reduce that. So what we were looking for here is when we reduce to lowest terms, remember those things mean the same thing, reducing in lowest terms, we're looking for the greatest common factor. That's a crazy one right there. So greatest common factor, greatest meaning largest, common means what do they share, factors are how we make a number. So we said, how do I make 4? 1 times 4, 2 times 2. How do I make 6? 1 times 6, 2 times 3. The greatest one that they share is, of course, 2. They also shared that 1, but we're looking for that greatest, which is 2 here. So this is just a quick review of some fraction work. What I want us to do though is I want us to come up with some answers for some problems today. I'm going to list the problems on Google in our Google Classroom, and then you can submit your answers. If you have questions for me, remember my office hours are 9:30 to 10:30. I'll be happy to help you any way I can. If it's not during that time, still send me that email, still send me that message, and again, I'll help you as much as I possibly can. Hope this helps, and remember next week we're going to start multiplying and dividing fractions.